Hey, I thought I'd show some Drifting Lands gameplay. As I explained in my last video, I played this back when they first put it in early access, but it was rough. I did not like the inertia. Some people, pretty much all the negative reviews for this are all talking about the inertia, which is it's a valid complaint. I mean, if you're used to pretty much any modern shmup, most modern shmups now are modeled after, cave games, Danmaku, very fast and responsive. In this game, you have to use different ships to get the responsiveness that you want. If you pick the default ship or the Marauder, that one moves really slow. And that's what I tried this game with, and that's why I didn't really participate in the early access. I thought the game was slow and clunky, but it actually is pretty fun. As far as I can tell, it's not going to be a really challenging experience until you grind. So if you want a game that's going to be a challenge from the start, then you can honestly play any of the cave ports on Steam. There's Dodonpachi and Mushihime-sama and Death Smile. So if that's what you're after, if you just want a fast arcade experience, then this is probably not the game for you. You would have to grind a pretty significant amount. It took me about 2 hours to get through the first class, or grade. They call them grades. I guess you can call them groups of levels. Kind of like a world in, Mario Brothers or something. You would have to grind considerably to get to that point. I hear that the game is pretty challenging later on, but if you don't want to wait, there's plenty of more bite-sized experiences. However, if you're old enough to remember Tyrian, or the more recent version, Tyrian 2000, or even more recent, the homebrew version of the game, about a decade ago, they made the game freeware and it got ported to pretty much everything you can think of. You can even play it on like a PSP. So if you've played that game, then you'll be right at home here. But it does have some more modern conventions, like the bullet patterns. You have your own skill build and stuff like that. You can play it very much like a hunting game. You can have your own build and loadout that can be different from anyone else's, which I think is really cool. Tyrian had that, but Tyrian is like a 22-year-old game, so it has this kind of expands on that idea. I don't know if Tyrian was their like official or main inspiration, but as someone who's played that game, I can definitely tell you it seems like it was. So you have two modes. You have this mode where if you die, you'll lose your stuff, and you have this one where you don't. So I haven't really messed around with this. When I played the game, they did not have this at all, so I don't know what the deal is with this, but I can imagine it would probably be pretty annoying to lose your stuff, so I'll see just how frustrating this is. I might just start over on Forgiving mode. I don't know, it gives me bad flashbacks to PSO 1, where people would PK you when you lose all your stuff. Now, one thing that's annoying about this game is the fact that it doesn't really have full controller support. It does, but since you're playing on PC and I don't think they have any kind of console port planned, you will still be using the mouse just to move around the menus. I'll go ahead and I'll show the menu really quick. So here's the speed with the analog stick. You can't see, but I'm using the left analog stick to navigate the menu. Now I have my right hand on the mouse, and you can see how much faster it is. So if you're used to playing stuff like DFO, like people who play DFO on controllers still use the keyboard and mouse to navigate. This game is very much like that. You will still need to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and show how the stuff works. So you have points you can put in things. This one increases the health and armor. This one increases your skills or your powers. And this one increases your health and weapon damage. So this ship, this one you basically use if you like a more authentic arcade experience. I haven't really noticed any inertia like some of the people were saying at all. I played this game originally with the other ship, and it was very slow and clunky and it didn't feel responsive. So if you want a harder experience, then this is actually the best ship to do it with. I think you have less health. Let's see if I can show the other ships. Yeah, see, this is the one that I started with before. This one felt so clunky. I honestly didn't like playing with it at all. It felt like the ship was like coated in molasses or something, or it's like oily, or it just didn't feel satisfying at all. But you have these other ships you can use as well. Yeah, this one is the slowest one. This is the slowest ship. This is the middle one, and this is the fastest. So as someone who's played a lot of Manic shmups, I'm not terribly good at them, but this is definitely the one you want to go for. So you have a bunch of slots here. I don't know how deep the customization gets. I know that there's unique items. Like I got this from beating the first boss. So there is some pretty cool stuff. I don't know how easy it is to spec in things. I'll definitely get back to you guys later. But this is it's not a game that you're meant to just plow through in a couple hours. You're definitely meant to kind of enjoy the experience and stuff like that. So once I get a little deeper into the customization, I will go into detail about that. So here's the skill system. It's pretty much like anything else you can think of. You know, you have several skills that you can get. So what's cool about this game is that there's a lot of close combat stuff. There's ways to cancel bullets and things like that. So you have pretty cool builds that you can make. Like right now I have this, which is a dash. It gives you invincibility and you can do it several times, but it costs more energy. Apparently this one was pretty broken before they nerfed it or something. I don't really know much about that, but you can also get heals as well. So I'm going to go ahead and buy this and put it here. You also have another tree here that you can use. So there's not too many, but you do have a pretty decent amount of customization. It's definitely enough to make your own build, which is pretty cool. Like this one gives you bullet time. I'm gonna go ahead and try one of these for the first time. And then finally you have your auto skills, which are basically like procs and anything else. So I have this one. You avoid any suicide bullets, and you cancel stuff when you kill them at close range. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go into a level here. That's pretty much the basics. Alright, let's see what a quick one is I can do. Now, in terms of playing this on arcade stick, it definitely seems to be designed for a controller, and like I said, unless you're playing as the Interceptor, the game is very slow-paced. So it's not like the difference between playing like a cave shmup on a pad and playing it on a stick. Like you could make it work, but it would be pretty awkward. By default, the face buttons are set to the skills, so not too different from other games that have like skills on the face buttons. And your main fire button is R2, so you would probably have to change things around. You could probably make the first 4 buttons on your stick the skills, and then maybe make the 6th button, you could probably make that the fire button, and probably get by with that just fine. But I don't know how comfortable that would be, constantly holding down a button. I think that would probably make your hands hurt. So if you're a purist or you want to play shmups on stick, which I always do, I always play shmups on stick, unless it's something like DBCS, where I play it predominantly on Vita, then this might not be the game for you, but it plays pretty well. I've been able to graze bullets pretty consistently with the Interceptor on the pad, so it is your call.
Focus up. Focus up.
So you notice the, hold on a minute. No, I can't change the options. And notice that the enemies are kind of tanky, which is obviously to facilitate the RPG element. So you have a focus mechanic which is different for each ship. And for this ship, it's grazing bullets. So if you graze a bullet, then that yellow bar in the lower right-hand corner will raise, and you get a score multiplier. There's the dash. The dash is pretty awesome. Alright, so there's a level. So what's weird about this game is you get 10% of your score for your actual money. So say you have 20,000 credits that you earn from the level, you only get 2,000 of that. So definitely is a grind. I don't know how much that picks up later on. It's probably like most games where you just get a ton of money towards the end. So that's basically the gameplay loop. At this point, you go here and you take the items from your hold and you dump them out. And then you go to the market and you sell your stuff. And you can buy more stash space, so if you're having problems with inventory, you can stockpile stuff. There are also blueprints, but basically you sell those to the market and then you can use those to craft. Like I have two of the blueprint ones right here. I crafted these and sometimes they have flaws, so you can craft them numerous times. It's kind of got an RPG or RNG component to it. So then at that point you just go back to the command center and you can complete more levels if you want. That's pretty much the base gameplay loop. So you get the, there's a demo for this, and the demo lets you play through Grade 1. You can probably get like maybe 2 or 3 hours out of Grade 1. So you get a decent chunk of it, but from what I hear, the customization doesn't really get interesting until Grade 2 and beyond. So if you like the base gameplay, you should definitely check it out. It's 15 bucks right now. I enjoyed it enough for the demo to warrant getting it. I think that people, you know, they think that every game has to be like a cave shmup, and cave shmups are great. They are, you know, masterfully crafted, and, you know, just the patterns are tailor-made and everything like that. The balance is good. But, you know, Tyrian was such a unique game for its time, and it's interesting that in the 22 years that have passed since that game came out, no one has really attempted to make a shmup like that, which I think is really odd, because I remember Tyrian was praised for being a really unique game back in the 90s, and no one has really done anything with that. So I think it's pretty cool that they have kind of taken a gameplay formula that, you know, has been done before but has still been largely unexplored. I'll definitely be playing more as I get through the later grades. I could not find any high-level gameplay for this at all, so I can't really tell you how the game ends up at the end, but I guess you'll find out through me. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and post a link to the game in the description. They have a free demo, like I said. You can play through all these missions here. You get quite a few. It's actually a lot like the Tyrian shareware. You got the first episode in that, and you can play that for a few hours and kind of get a taste of the customization and how the mechanics worked, and a decent chunk of the weapons. That's kind of how this demo is too. And all your progress carries over as well. So if you play and you don't have the money for the game right away, you can actually grind up resources and items and stuff like that until you have the money for it, which I think is pretty cool. They're doing a 20% off discount, which I believe is $2 more than what it was in early access. But like I said, I didn't like the game in early access, mainly because of the ship that I use. But the game's actually pretty fun. If you want something slower paced that has kind of a more unique gameplay loop than what you're used to from shmups, I definitely recommend it. Anyway, catch you guys later. Peace.